Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. We've got a battle on the Redshire map, and we've got the Killer Elmo. It's in the WZ-120. This is a Tier 9 Chinese medium tank. Just before we get into the tank, this is an assault game, so only a 10-minute battle time, and I've explained this a few times, so you should know the win and conditions for each side. Alright, WZ-120. It's real life. It's a copy of the Soviet T-54 in the game. Probably the major differences, the frontal upper hull is a bit weaker on the WZ. The gun is absolutely the best part of this tank, or mostly the best part of this tank. This is the top gun, which is 122mm, and it's got great alpha over 400, and also the standard pen is one of the highest for medium tanks in the game. I think it's like the 5th highest pen, so it is quite a formidable tank in the game when it is the top tier, and also with the top gun. Downside is the gun depression is pretty weak, so I think it's only 5 degrees, so you can see he's got to come fairly forward here to get the angles, and he's using the side slopes here as also just to maximise his opportunity. If he's going over the top, he'd really have to expose the whole of his lower plate, and he's showing a bit of his side here, but it's the turret is pretty bouncy, so you can see he's just bounced around off. Anyway, let's put a bit around up at the tank. You can check the gun stats, etc. when you need to. Tomato.gg or tanks.gg is both good resources. But let's have a look at the game that he's doing now. So again, just based on the weakness of the tank for depression, he's hanging out in this particular spot to catch tanks coming up the side slopes of the hill to his left. There are some tanks off to his right, just ignoring them for the moment. We have to really change position. Alright. Comes the enemy Senlac, the light tank, and so going for a speed run through the thing. It looks like that. Is he going to last? I doubt it, so Elmo's going to give him what he can. Bang, and doesn't get a lot of damage out of that, but does send him back to the garage, so obviously that Senlac had a copy waiting for him somewhere and couldn't hang around, so he's gone back home, and he'll have to jump into another battle in a different tank if that wasn't his intent. Alright, so he's faced there with the DZ-159. The DZ-T's pretty strong frontal armour on the turret, but you can see there was aiming for the lower plate and not having any problem going through, again using his standard rounds here. So it's good use of it. He's got a Basante with him. So only a tier 8, and this is a tier 9, tier 8 battle. I'm saying only a tier 8. He's a heavy tank. Can he go through the Cobra? It just bounces off the side there, just the angle's not so great. So just going to have to reload and go again, but DZ here does take a round from the DZ finally, but DZ2's got to come forward as well to make that play, so he managed to get the opportunity to snap a shot into him in the light plate and get damage out of it. Basante's been worked over a bit, he's low on hit points, so Elmo coming in here gets rid of the DZT. So up to 2.7k damage now, so he's already well exceeded his hit points of his vehicle, and he goes after the target 2 there. Again, no problem going through with standard rounds. Pretty much getting side shots from this particular position, so quite a strong position here. Now, of course, Redshire Assault is not a favourite of people, and I think you can see why the defending side does have a bit of an advantage here. But nonetheless, this is Elmo's battle, and he's finally able to focus on the other side of the map here, so got a contradictus down there. Puts a shot in, takes him down to one-shottable. In fact, that sends him back to the garage straight after that from another shot. So they're starting to push back on the enemy. they don't have a lot of hit point difference, but they have got quite a few guns out of the game on the enemy side, and that's going to start to pay off. There's another DZT around, and there's an object 257 hasn't been seen yet, at least not by Elmo. So just pausing here, there's no need to rush. This defense is all about keeping the enemy out for the 10 minutes, not necessarily throwing your tank away. In fact, there's the 257, has been lit up, but he finds an XM57 and decides that's a better target to go after. The T-54 E1 gets taken out, so they've lost their top tier heavy tank, but he's going to go after the Object 257 and does get a shot in. He's down to 536 hit points, so 2 more shots and he's gone. In fact, 423 opportunity here to get rid of him. Well, unfortunately that didn't land quite well. So he'll go after the XM, also a pretty dangerous tank destroyer, and he does penetrate this time. And he takes a hit from the 257, so decides to, alright, probably more prudent to relocate at this point. There's still nearly 4 minutes left in the game. It's still possible to lose from this stage, and in fact they've been bleeding tanks a bit. So he decides to change sides and get at some of the action over here. In fact, they lose another one, but sort of one each. So can he go after the UDIS or the XM over there? In fact, the XM on the other side is very low in hit points, but he decides to get in front of the UDIS. Let's have a bit of a system. Oh, lucky bounce there from the enemy DZT, and nice trade there. He sends a shot back, and that brings up his 5k, so he's having a great battle here. Opportunity to send the DZT back. Look, the Basante's doing pretty well. He's got the same amount of hit points that he had just straight after he got reduced, so this is playing well for him. He does take a hit from the DZT and takes him down to 77 hit points, but that doesn't mean he's out of the battle. Borsig takes out the DZT. That's all good. Now there's just 2 TDs, the Arty and the 257, so not much left in the battle now. Elmo can get some more kills. He's only got 3. Well, he's only got 3. He's got 3 kills. That's better than having 2 or even 1. But not much chance to get a top gun out of this. But certainly on track to get the high caliber, I think, with the amount that he's done. In fact, the mod is telling us he has exceeded the high caliber limits. So can he get rid of this 257 though? It's unlikely the enemy can win at this stage. Oh, side shot. Oh, goes into the tracks. That's been unfortunate, but he also tanks the incoming round. So he's coming around here to try and change the angles. Just a chance to get a bit more damage. Don't think he can get to 6k. No, there's not enough hit points left in the game. Doesn't really have any blind shots, so side shot on the 257. No, just didn't aim enough. And now he's down to 110 hit points, and in fact gets taken out by the Borsig. So only the XM, and he knows he's on like 13 hit points, so he's going to go after the Arty, get as much possible out of this as can. And judging from where the shots came from, this is coming over to this area of the map. In fact, the XM gets taken out by the Charfature 4, so where is the Arty? 1 minute to go. This is a win, regardless of whether you can find the Arty, to be honest, but okay, there he is. In fact, he's facing towards Elmo, doesn't want to get shotgunned. M53, M55 can be a little bit dangerous. It's not such a shotgunning tank, but does have a turret, and biggest problem, of course, is the aim bloom when you start to move your SPG thing around. But he'll stay out of the way of the gun for sure, and bang, shoots him on the move, gets the kill. That is the end of the game. Alright, let's go and have a look at the results. Nice collection of results, 5.8k of damage and another 1.9k of assisted damage there, so that's over 7k combined. So good result there, 4 kills. So in the Confederate Award for damaging enough tanks, I think it's like 7 that gets killed by your team. The high caliber award for the most damage, as we saw, and cool headed. Now that was when he was on his low hit points and bouncing shots. got some nice bonds out of that as well, and the Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. Let's have a look at the team score. Alright, it's finished well on top there with damage, beating out the Borsig, who got 3.3k, and the Charfature 4 doing 2.5k. But 1503 base experience, a very nice level there for the Ace Tanker. And on the enemy side, one of the DZTs getting 3.5k, and the Object 257 getting 2.5. But you can see he basically stuck at the back, and he probably didn't want to play in attack mode on Redshire. I don't blame him necessarily, but when you're at the battle, you really got to try and commit. And he was just sort of skulking around. All right, let's have a look at the details. So again, this tech tree tank, just keep that in mind. 22 shots fired, 20 hits, so pretty decent shooting there. 14 penetrations though. Despite the good penetration capability, it was just a lot of angles and so on that he didn't quite get. Let's have a look. So credit earnings, 82k for the battle, another 41, so running personal reserves there, and judicious use of standard ammunition meant he made a tidy profit of 79k. So great result there for Killer Elmo. In fact, his best result in the WZ-120. In fact, first time I think we've had that particular tank on the channel, so thanks also for providing the content there. Anyway, if you're watching this, I hope you enjoyed it. If you can give the video a like, that'd be really helpful. Comments would be good as well. If you want to give it a thumbs down, that's fine as well, but please give a comment if you're doing that. We'll have more great content to follow. Thanks very much for watching.